to Canuck of the Dead. I've been waiting to have our next guest on for quite some time, ever since I saw her first film, at Blood in the Snow Darkened, and then this one that we're going to talk about today. I knew this show was made for her. So without further ado, Audrey Cummings, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Thank you so much for coming on. Like I said at the intro, yeah, when I saw Darken, it was like, that was awesome. And then this one that we're going to talk about today, She Never Died, it was like even better.
Thank you. They're a lot of work.
I don't doubt it. I do not doubt it. When you get into that sci-fi kind of area, then yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it than just a standard drama.
Yep, correct.
So we'll get everybody caught up. Here is the trailer for She Never Died.
So what are you?
12 missing people in the last 2 months.
Now, half a dozen dismembered bodies, their fingers conspicuously absent.
Following me?
Yeah, I killed that guy.
Oh, wow. Why?
I wanted to eat him.
What?
Well, parts of him.
Parts of him?
The end is nigh.
It's not. Every generation says that, but every generation is wrong.
That's kind of different. Maybe we can make a trade.
You're going to tell me everything I need to know about her.
We should go.
Do you think it takes some time to realize you've done the worst thing in your life?
No, stay!
I'm sorry.
What did you do?
Robot?
No.
Zombie?
No.
Vampire?
I'm not a vampire.
You sound like a vampire.
I don't like you.
I love that trailer.
Oh, it's funny, you make the movie and then you don't see, like, I haven't seen it in a while. It's just really cool seeing the trailer again because it just takes me back, and I just forgot how much I love this movie.
Well, my first question then, I got to say, were you daunted by taking on this project? Because it's a sequel, and to an incredible cult film.
Yeah, He Never Died was a huge success, and I don't think they realized when they realized what's his name? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. He never died.
Henry Rollins?
Henry Rollins, thank you. I don't think they realized the cult following that Henry had. Like the film took on a life of its own, and it has a huge following.
And I know in that film, he played such an emotionless person, and that was the key to that film. And that's why when this one was announced, it's like, wow, how are they going to duplicate that? But man, did you ever?
It has a funny story, they were going to do He Never Died 2 with Henry again because the first one was so successful. And they ended up, it had to be well, actually, I can tell you this little story. It ended up having to be pushed, this shooting, because they had hired. So in our film, we have a cameo from Gowan at the end, the musician Gowan, and it was going to be Marilyn Manson. And Marilyn had climbed up on stage on the scaffolding and fell off the scaffolding, and I think he broke his arm or something. I don't know, something happened, and they pushed the production because of him. And then by the time they pushed, which I would never, for a cameo, I would never push an entire production, but I wasn't the producers. And so they pushed, and then by the time it got pushed to when they were going to start shooting, Henry ended up getting these big TV roles and couldn't do it. And then they decided to pivot really quickly and keep shooting and turn it into She Never Died. So it's a really cool story of just this really fast pivoting to try to, by a group of really hardworking, people who are really excited to make the film. And how do we pivot? How do we keep it on this new schedule? How do we move forward? Because you can't make He Never Died 2 without the he.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that must have been some intense writing if they had a script set for Henry and then revamped everything. for
It's
this one?
funny. I said to Jason, the writer, Jason's amazing. I love Jason. I said to Jason, this isn't going to be as simple as changing it from a he to a she on the script. And he's like, well, let's start with that. And then he delivered the script where he had basically changed the he to a she. And I was like, huh, it's not going to be as big of a rewrite as I thought, because she's still a kick-ass, like it's still a lot of the same. And so then it was like, well, we need the right actor to be able to pull this, just this kick-ass, strong woman character, strong female character. And yeah, so the rewrite wasn't as big as I had anticipated, let's just say. And then I brought in Olunuke. She was in Darken, my previous feature, and I was like, there's no one else. She's the one. Like, she's it.
She killed that role. I mean, I cannot picture anybody else in that role at all.
I know. She was the only one for me. So I was really lucky, because she was also at the same time working on American Gods. And they were our schedules were at the same time. And they were basically, we shot in North Bay, and they were shuttling her from Toronto to North Bay. And she would like sleep in the shuttle, arrive on set, get hair and makeup done, shoot for us, sleep in the shuttle. Like, she was double dutying it. I don't know how she did it. Yeah.
That is crazy. So that when they decided to change this around, and I asked this because I know about the end, was that then put on that little surprise ending?
So yes and no. So I think Jason had already created this bigger world of all these fallen angels. So he already had this character in his repertoire of like the fallen angels on Earth. So it just sort of he just sort of pulled from a pre-existing character that he sort of created. I don't want to give it away, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm trying to word the questions right. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, now you talked about the strenuousness of filming this. How was it for? And I apologize if I say the name. Oleniki, is that right?
Olunike.
Olenike. Okay, there we go.
Call her Olu.
Olu, there we go. For Olu, like, it's a very physical role.
Yeah.
And like, I think even more so than what Henry went through.
Yes, I would agree. Her character, and those are some of the changes that she brought in, and that we worked on together, because Henry's character was very closed off. And one of the things that I really wanted, because we were switching to a female now, women are emotional, and I didn't want to like take that away from the character and from women in general. Like, we are emotional and passionate and compassionate, and I really, for me, if she played the same way Henry had played it, it just wouldn't have worked. And so she brought all kinds of stuff to the table, and her physicality, like, she did pretty much all of her own stunts. Like, she was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She had just this incredible energy. She just like, and she worked out all the time. She naturally fit, and she was just like so perfect for the role.
Yeah, because some of those, I remember vividly the one of her tied into the chair. That whole scene was so tense.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Dang. So now you said you wanted to make sure that you could keep that compassionate side, but I did see that hint of what Henry did, where she's been alive for like 1 billion years, so she has that disconnect from the normal people.
Yeah, they're just tired of living. Like, she doesn't want to live anymore. She's had it, and really looking for any way to die. Like, she's just given up, and she has no desire to make any connections with anyone. And that's what's really fun about this movie is, she starts the movie with no friends, like nothing, because she doesn't care. And by the end, she's got this ragtag group that just want to be with her.
I gotta admit, that's where I love this ending a little better than He Never Died, because Henry's by himself again at the end,
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like you said, it's now a group, and then you add that secret ending. It kind of fleshes out so much. Like, is there talks of when I was talking with my son about it, he said, is there going to be a They Never Died?
I was kind of hoping so. And in fact, like to me, this would make such a good TV series. Like all these fallen angels and all this, and like the apocalypse is coming, right? The horsemen of the apocalypse are arriving. That's the motorcycles at the end. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how much I should say, but anyway, so the apocalypse is coming. They're fallen angels, and so I thought like this would make a really good TV series, but it hasn't really shifted into that yet. So
No,
I don't know.
you're right.
Yeah.
I guess my mind automatically went to a movie sequel and stuff like that, but I think you are far more accurate. This would be more episodic, like a supernatural kind of show leading
Yeah.
up to the Armageddon.
Yeah.
And we all know that you have massive experience in the television area too.
Yeah.
Now, just recently you've been working on Ginny and Georgia and Astrid and Millie. How are those going?
Amazing. I worked on Astrid and Lily is a show. It's sci-fi horror, it's a YA, kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer type feel. It's kind of like a Buffy. And these two girls who are kind of outcasts, and they end up opening this portal to another dimension, and these monsters start coming through, and they got to save the world. No small task.
Nice.
And so I did 2 episodes of that, and that was season 1 this year. It's the first season, and it was great. It's well written. The characters are lovable, and just the acting's fantastic. And I had a great experience on it. We shot it in Newfoundland. And then from there, I had just finished doing my director's cut for the second episode. I was literally finishing it. I finished up at 3 a.m. and I had an interview for Ginny and Georgia the first thing the next morning. So it was. And then I think I found out within a few days, and then they flew me to Toronto to go shoot it right away. So it was like literally back to back. Yeah.
Oh snap! I said you were busy, and that if it's that close together.
Yeah.
That's
You need
crazy.
a lot of energy.
And then even with Darken, because you released Darken the film, and then you took it a step further, didn't you?
Yeah. So Darken, I think it's done with Shaftesbury Films, and Shaftesbury, I think they had this idea for it that they wanted kind of a multi-platform project. So they had the feature film, they had the web series, and then they had a 3D movie that you walk through virtual reality. Sorry, why am I saying 3D? Virtual reality, VR. So you walk through Darken in a VR setting and stuff. So it's really cool.
I haven't seen. I gotta look that up. That's awesome. I didn't know that existed. I knew about the web series.
Yeah, and I did the web series. Yeah.
That is awesome. So, with all these different genre types that you're now playing around in, what are you liking more? The She Never Died horror style, the sci-fi of Darken?
I know. I like it all. I definitely know what I do know is I have a dark edge. I like dark content. I mean, even Ginny and Georgia, it's a Netflix, it's like a top 10 Netflix show, and it's a drama, but there's a darkness that I'm drawn to in the show, and there's this underlying darkness. And I think I've come to realize I'm attracted to this sort of darker content.
Well, I guess it makes sense. You look way back at Berkshire County. That's a little dark.
Dark. Yeah. I mean, whether it's in the sci-fi, whether it's in the thriller, straight up horror, doesn't matter. Like I know when I read something, and She Never Died is horror comedy, and I love making She Never Died, and I love watching it. It makes me laugh every time I watch it. The same jokes still make me laugh.
Well, and I think that's the beauty of that movie is because Oli is so intense. She's like the perfect straight person.
Yeah.
And the comedy is it's an innocent comedy, which is weird when you have an immortal.
Yeah, true.
That is so cool. Now, was there any challenging parts to She Never Died that you kind of look back on and went, wow, how did we survive that?
I mean, we shot it in 15 days, and it has these gigantic fight sequences. It has some VFX. It has lots of kills, and so I think the biggest challenge was just so when you're trying to make your day and you have no more time to shoot to make your day, the first things that tend to get cut on the day in order to make your day or in order to make your budget is going to be the kills, the fight sequences, and you keep dumbing them down so that you can kind of, sometimes it'll just be a quick like, whoosh, like whatever you can get away with to make your day. And so one of the things I was really happy with She Never Died was there's some stuff we had to dull down for sure. But for the most part, if you watch the big fight sequence at the end and all that stuff, we tried to keep as much as we could. And it turned out great, and we still made it in 15 days and no overtime really. And
I didn't know that was a 15-day shoot.
Nuts. It was nuts.
Oh, wow. I look at that with a whole new light now because it looks so polished and streamed and dang.
Yeah. So how do you get that? It's called prep. Major prep. I design, I just design every sequence, my ins, my outs, what's going to happen, what I'm going to see, so that I know when I get on set, the heart of what I need to get. And if I can get more, wonderful. And if I can't, at least I've still got the scene. So it's, it's a challenge.
Was there any major setbacks that you wish you could have gotten more of? Because I know I look at that film and I can't see anything that looks like, oh, they missed something here, or gee, I bet you that fight was longer. I don't see any of that. So that's why I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think one thing I would probably have liked more time to do is when she kicks Meredith off the rooftop. And it wasn't a matter of daylight. It was the sun was literally behind a building, and once it starts dropping, it will drop in minutes. And she was standing up on a little balcony, and she would throw herself off onto these crash mats that were on top of all these cardboard boxes. And we literally got the one, and then the sun went bloop, and I was like, no. So, stuff like that, where you go like, oh, the sun.
It's hard to play against nature.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to trouble with the brightness and then say a cloud cover come over? Did you ever have that?
Yeah, I did a lot of that. Yep. But it's a lot of that stuff. For the most part, you can kind of fix in post and color correction, and sometimes if the shadows are too dark or the light is too bright. Sometimes it's a hard match, but I would never move on until I actually knew that I had some sort of a match, because you can never come back. So
exactly. Okay. Now, was there anything in the script that you actually didn't film that you wish you had? And we're going way back now, making you think.
Yeah. Yep. There's one thing when she's chained to the chair and she gets up, she walks to the camera. I would have loved to see her just demolish him, but I didn't have time to shoot her demolishing him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, it would have been so good. Yeah.
Man, I'm still kind of watching the trailer. It's on quiet here, and her intensity in that role, was there any training that she felt she had to do for that, or was this just her?
It was just her. She told me, she said, I'm channeling an animal. I think it was a lion or a cougar or some sort of I think it was a lion. And she said, I'm channeling an animal that by the movements and the way an animal would turn and look at you and sort of sniff you out and, get ready to pounce. So I think that was her. She really channeled that feel, and you can see it. You can see it in her performance for sure.
Oh, big time. And there's one question I'd love to ask her and Henry, just because they're the only two I know that did. How do you prep to play a multi-year-old being? To get that disassociation, but not lose. Henry was gone. He was not included in humanity. She still had that connection.
Yeah,
but you can see it, and I would love to know the prep that goes into that.
I know. I don't know.
She's so intense. Oh
I
man.
know what I do know is she really connected with the role. She loved it. She connected with it, and she worked hard to find it and get it, you know? Even the, you know, like when she does speak, even the way she's like, I think she was trying out all kinds of things and how is this character going to sound? And she worked hard on it. Yeah.
Was there much guidance you had to give her on this?
No, I mean, she would present me stuff. We'd talk about things. I would tell her, you know, just in conversations like, this is what I want, you know. And for me, it was really important to bring out the female element in the character and not be like Henry's character. And so, you know, she would bring this stuff to the table, and I mean, it was incredible. And her ability, one of the things I was super impressed with is her ability to go from her range to be able to go from, you know, introspective and quiet and dark, and then just all of a sudden, you know, find this highly emotional place to be in, or a very vulnerable place to be in, and going from this tough character to a vulnerable character. Like, it gave me shivers what she was able to do. I mean, it was amazing. And that's why her career is totally taken off. She's a star.
Oh, big time. Like, it's interesting because when we saw She Never Died comes out, it's like, oh, well, no, Henry, that's okay. I really want to see She Never Died too. You know, like I want to see her back in that role.
I know, me too.
Because man, and I've seen her in some other stuff, but it's not the same. This is where I think actors get worried about being typecast, because you know, if you can only see a character as one person, like Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice or something like that, then you get pigeonholed. So,
well, you know what's interesting? She's sort of a superhero in a weird way. When I had a meeting right before the pandemic hit 2 years ago, I was in at Marvel Studios, and the guy that I was meeting with was watching in prep for meeting with me. He was watching She Never Died. And in my meeting with him, he said to me, I had your film playing, and she was kicking ass in the middle of it all. And a couple execs were walking by, and they're like, oh my God, who is that? What is that? Is that a new superhero? Like, he said that everyone was like, holy shit, wow. So she could be the next superhero. Who knows?
that is awesome. That would be cool to see.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Man, but yeah, I'm just speaking. Yeah, she has kind of just blown up, hasn't she? Like,
she's blown up. She's in everything. Yeah.
look at that. Oh, she's in The Expanse too. I've been told I have to watch that, and it's on my list. So I will have to watch that now, definitely. Awesome. Well, Audrey, thanks. Stick around, everybody, because I'm going to ask Audrey about the project she's worked on with Eli Roth, and then maybe we'll see what else is coming up. So don't go too far.